Hi, my name is Harmony Mathis in Professor Wilson's Summer A American Government class, POS 1041-51030, and this is my presentation on the domestic policy of inflation. Inflation is the rise of the prices of goods and services over a period and is measured by the Consumer Price Index. Although the Federal Reserve aims to keep inflation low, at a rate of 2.0%, it has now reached 3.8%, increasing everyday necessities. Because of inflation, workers' wages are struggling to keep up with the standard of living and have also made borrowing money for home mortgages and car loans much more expensive. Without government action, the economic state of the country would become destabilized. It will create this chain reaction of workers demanding more raises to be able to cope, which will lead to businesses raising prices to cover those wages and creating an inflationary loop. By allowing inflation to rise, it will destroy the value of cash savings, and money stored in banks will lose its purchasing power. The people that are affected by inflation are low-income and middle-income families and fixed-income retirees. Working-class families already spend most of their income on essentials like rent, utilities, groceries, gas, and insurance. As the prices rise, these families begin to fall deeper into economic instability. They can't afford to reduce their spending because they only have enough to get by. Even if their wages increase, it is not aligned with the increased speed of inflation. So although their check is bigger, it still isn't enough. For example, household tax is estimated to be $700 to $900 more a month than 2 years ago. With the inflation spike, retirees fall into a trap. They are unable to renegotiate their income, and therefore when prices increase, their payouts become significantly less sufficient. They become forced to draw on their investment much sooner, leaving them more financially vulnerable. Interest rate hikes take between 12 and 18 months to fully filter through the economy and lower the prices, making it slow to solve sudden price spikes. Also, while trying to lower the economic state, the Federal Reserve has still spent heavy funds on infrastructure and defense, making inflation last longer. However, by bringing inflation back down, families can reliably budget for groceries, utilities, and housing. The Federal Reserve can lower interest rates, and businesses can be more successful in entering long-term contracts. When looking at what drives inflation, there are two main categories: demand pull and cost push. Demand pull is when the total demand for goods grows faster than the economy's ability to produce them. When central banks keep interest rates low for too long, borrowing money becomes easy and consumers, businesses, and governments begin looking to buy. But factories and service providers can't instantly increase production or hire workers, forcing sellers to increase their prices. Cost push inflation happens when cost of raw materials, wages, and production increase. Once these products increase, companies must increase prices to maintain profit. Workers begin to demand higher wages, which then causes businesses to increase their prices once more. Inflation is actively trapping the American working class. Forcing these families with high borrowing costs and imposing aggressive tariffs is not solving the economy. Global conflicts are rising the prices of oil, and instead of fixing these supply issues, the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates and making it seem impossible to survive. True stability won't come from reducing the public standard of living to force prices down. The government needs to drop the consumer tariffs and stop unnecessary recession on ordinary people. To permanently lower the cost of living, the government must adopt growth-oriented solutions. Aligning congressional spending with the Federal Reserve stance will allow interest rates to drop safely. Also, fixing the approval process for energy production will create cheap powers, lowering manufacturing costs. There also needs to be a more efficient way to resolve labor shortages and improve production. These changes can solve inflation by building supply and economic surplus. And these are my sources.